Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the IAS Companion. Today we delve into the cornerstone of our constitutional framework, the right to constitutional remedies. This pivotal provision, enshrined within Article 32 of our Constitution, serves as the linchpin for the protection and enforcement of our cherished fundamental rights. Let us embark on a comprehensive journey to unravel the intricacies of this fundamental right and explore its profound significance in safeguarding the liberties and dignities of every citizen. 1. Essence of Article 32. A mere proclamation of fundamental rights without an effective mechanism for their enforcement would render them hollow and ineffectual. Article 32, therefore, emerges as the beacon of hope, conferring upon every aggrieved citizen the right to seek redressal for the infringement of their fundamental rights. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar aptly termed Article 32 as the soul and heart of our Constitution, emphasizing its indispensable role in upholding the sanctity of our fundamental rights. 2. Provisions of Article 32. Right to move the Supreme Court. Article 32 guarantees every citizen the right to approach the Supreme Court through appropriate legal proceedings for the enforcement of their fundamental rights. Powers of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is vested with expansive powers to issue directions, orders, or writs, including habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto, for the enforcement of fundamental rights. Parliamentary empowerment. Parliament is empowered to confer similar powers upon other courts, subject to the primacy of the Supreme Court. However, this provision does not extend to high courts, as Article 226 already vests them with similar powers. 3. Judicial interpretation and significance. The Supreme Court has unequivocally affirmed Article 32 as a basic feature of the Constitution, thereby shielding it from abridgment or dilution through constitutional amendments. Article 32 endows the Supreme Court with original and wide-ranging powers, enabling it to act as the guardian and protector of fundamental rights, with jurisdiction not confined to appeals but inclusive of direct petitions. The overarching objective of Article 32 is to furnish citizens with a guaranteed, expeditious, and affordable mechanism for the protection of their fundamental rights, thereby ensuring the vibrancy and vitality of our constitutional democracy. 4. Scope and limitations. Article 32 serves as a bulwark exclusively for the enforcement of fundamental rights enshrined within the Constitution, precluding its invocation for non-fundamental constitutional rights, statutory rights, or customary rights. The violation of a fundamental right constitutes a prerequisite for the exercise of the right conferred by Article 32, thereby circumscribing its applicability to instances where a fundamental right is directly infringed. 5. Concurrent jurisdiction with high courts. While Article 32 vests original jurisdiction in the Supreme Court for the enforcement of fundamental rights, it coexists with the concurrent jurisdiction of high courts under Article 226. Aggrieved parties are accorded the liberty to approach either the Supreme Court or the respective High Court directly in cases of fundamental rights violations, thereby providing flexibility and accessibility in seeking legal recourse. 6. Writs types and scope. Let's delve deeper into the types and scope of writs as enshrined in Articles 32 and 226 of the Constitution. 1. Habeas corpus, meaning, habeas corpus, you shall have the body, is a writ designed to safeguard individual liberty against arbitrary detention. It empowers the court to order the production of a person who is unlawfully detained or imprisoned, ensuring a prompt judicial inquiry into the legality of their detention. If the detention is found to be illegal, the court directs the release of the individual forthwith. Scope. Habeas corpus can be issued against both public authorities and private individuals. However, it is not granted in cases where the detention is lawful, such as cases of preventive detention under statutory provisions, or when the detention falls under the jurisdiction of a competent court. 2. Mandamus, meaning, mandamus, we command, is a writ issued by a higher court to compel a public official, corporation, or inferior court to perform a duty that they are legally obligated to fulfill but have failed or refused to do so. It is a directive aimed at ensuring the proper functioning of public administration and the delivery of essential services. Scope: mandamus cannot be issued against private individuals or bodies. It is not available to enforce discretionary duties, contractual obligations, or against certain high-ranking officials such as the President, Governors, or Chief Justices acting in their judicial capacity. 3. Prohibition, meaning, prohibition is a writ issued by a higher court to prevent a lower court, tribunal, or quasi-judicial authority from exceeding its jurisdiction or acting beyond its lawful authority. It aims to restrain judicial or quasi-judicial bodies from making decisions or conducting proceedings that are ultra vires or outside the scope of their authority. Scope: prohibition is specifically directed at judicial and quasi-judicial authorities. It cannot be invoked against administrative bodies, legislative bodies, or private individuals or entities. 4. Certiorari, meaning, certiorari, to be informed, is a writ issued by a higher court to quash the order or decision of a lower court, tribunal, or administrative authority. It is invoked primarily on the grounds of excess of jurisdiction, error of law, or lack of jurisdiction, thereby ensuring the legality and propriety of administrative or quasi-judicial actions. Scope: certiorari can be issued against judicial, quasi-judicial, and administrative authorities. It aims to correct errors of law or jurisdiction and ensure adherence to legal principles and procedural fairness. 5. Quo warranto, meaning, quo warranto, by what authority, is a writ used to challenge the legality of a person's claim to hold a public office or position. It seeks to ascertain whether the individual is entitled to occupy the office and prevent the usurpation of public offices by unauthorized persons. Scope: quo warranto is applicable to substantive public offices created by statute or the Constitution. It cannot be invoked in cases of ministerial offices or private positions. Unlike other writs, quo warranto can be sought by any interested person, not necessarily the aggrieved party. In essence, these writs serve as potent tools for the protection of individual rights, the maintenance of the rule of law, and the preservation of institutional integrity. Through their judicious application, courts ensure the supremacy of the Constitution, uphold the principles of natural justice, and safeguard the liberties of the citizens against arbitrary exercise of power. In conclusion, Article 32 stands as the keystone of our constitutional edifice, endowing every citizen with the invaluable right to seek redressal for the violation of their fundamental rights. Through a judicious blend of expansive judicial powers, constitutional safeguards, and equitable access to legal remedies, Article 32 exemplifies our nation's unwavering commitment to justice, liberty, and the rule of law. As we traverse the corridors of justice, let us remain steadfast in our resolve to uphold the sanctity of our fundamental rights, ensuring that the flame of constitutionalism continues to illuminate the path to a more equitable and inclusive society. Thank you.